It's Friday the 13th. Wow, spooky, huh? Hey, everybody, welcome to today's Daily Distinction. Glad you're here. I am back home after quite a while out on the road and glad that you're here today. Thank you for joining me for a short Daily Distinction today. Talking about an important topic, and that is creativity. We all need to be more creative. Hey, Dwayne. Yeah, you bet. I'm doing this and I'm going right into another Zoom call. It'll be a little bit later on today, but we will make sure we get that done. So I appreciate it. How's everybody doing? Thank you for watching the replays and the pre-recorded versions that we've had. So appreciate you being here for this. And don't forget that what we are doing here is in part because of the iconic inner circle. You can get information on storytelling, how you craft and tell a better story, how you conduct better virtual events. Even if the virtual event is just a one-on-one sales call, it doesn't have to be a big meeting. It can just be what we're doing here. And there's weekly distinction sessions for you. So join us, the Iconic Inner Circle. Love to see you there, the iconicinnercircle.com. And by the way, the first month's on me, absolutely free. So look forward to checking it out with you. So thank you so much for being a part of this. So today's topic is going to be on creativity. It's impossible to create distinction and be just like everybody else. Right? I mean, you've heard me say before that in the history of business, no customer has ever said, I love doing business with those folks. They're exactly like everybody else. If they're exactly like everybody else, then no one is going to want to continue to do business with you. I mean, that's the only thing that attracts. If you're like everybody else, you're a commodity. And if you're a commodity, then their loyalty to you is based upon your price. And all I have to do to beat you is lower my price. That's not good for anybody. So what we have to do is find a way to be more creative. And we're going to talk about 6 ways that you can be more creative. We're going to cover 3 of them today and then 3 of them on Monday's episode. But what can you do to be more creative? And by the way, before we start into the 6, please share. Whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay, the way that we grow the audience is for you to share this. So if everybody would just take a moment and just hit share, that would really help out. Hey, Tom, it has been way too long. I hope you're doing great. Man, I thank you for joining in, and thanks for the message. I appreciate that. It's been a while. So glad that you are here. Curtis joining us from the road. It's always great hearing from you, Curtis. Thank you for taking time to spend a few minutes of your day here. So we're going to talk today about being more creative, and no matter what you're doing, no matter what business you're in, right? We're not talking about being different just to be different. We're not talking about doing something wild or unproductive or zany just to get attention. That's not it at all. It's about what can we do to stimulate creativity. Creativity is one of those very few things that once you say you're not, it shuts everything down. Here's what I mean by that. If I once say, oh gosh, I'm not creative, then immediately I stop trying to come up with creative ideas that could advance what I do. So one of the most challenging aspects of creativity and to becoming more creative is not shutting down the process. Look, even if you're sitting there right now thinking, well, I'm not very creative, stop it. At least give yourself a chance to understand these 6 ways that you can be more creative. So here's the first of the 6 suggestions. Like I said, we'll cover 3 quickly today, and then we'll cover 3 quickly on Monday's Daily Distinction. Here's number 1. I want you to read something outside your usual circle. I know folks that brag about how many business books they read every year. I was talking to somebody last week. He said, I read 2 business books a week. I take 2 weeks off for vacation, but I read 100 business books a year. Now, as a business book author, hey, man, I'm really glad to hear that, right? Buy all the business books you can, right? I've got a bunch right here behind me that, that you could take a look at. But to me, that's like saying, I only eat fried chicken. Man, every once in a while, wouldn't you want a hamburger? Or wouldn't you want a salad, right? If our diet is only one thing, even if that one thing is healthy, to me, that's not super productive. So what I want to suggest to you is read something outside your usual circle. If you only read business books, man, get a good novel or read a biography. I'm reading one right now. Let me pull it up for you. I'm not through it yet, but I want to recommend it. And hold on, I'm going to show you what I'm reading right now. Let's go to library. It's, oh, shoot, it doesn't hold up the cover. It's called The Splendid and the Vile. Here we go. The Splendid and the Vile. Eric Larson. It's the story of Churchill during the Blitzkrieg in World War II and what he did in terms of leadership. Okay, so typically, I typically read business books, but reading this about what Churchill did in terms of leadership is something outside my usual circle. But there's things I'm going, wow, how he was decisive, how he, like I wrote in Iconic, how he played offense, how he played his own game. All of that was super powerful and super interesting. So I'm trying to do what I'm advising you to do here. Read something outside your current circle. Next, get out of your comfort zone. If there is anything, and I'm not talking politics here, I'm not talking anything here, I'm using this as an example, so don't jump to a conclusion here. If there is anything that I have seen during not only the political turmoil that our nation is in, but also all of our responses to the pandemic and to vaccinations and all that, is that people are looking for confirmation of what they already believe rather than information that might make them make a more informed choice. In other words, if you are anti-vaccine, most people tend to read only the anti-vaccine stuff. That's just something I think that is a natural progression of how much information is out there. It used to be that the information was, it wasn't that easy to access back when I was a kid. Right now with the internet, you can find anything about anything. I bet that you can find something that injecting gold into your veins will improve your chances of not having a heart attack, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, you can probably find it out there somewhere. And what we typically do is to read things and to absorb things that confirm what we already believe. I want to suggest that part of how you get creative is that you get outside your comfort zone. Now, again, our purpose here is not to be political, and it's not to talk about those kinds of controversial issues. There are other places for that. But what I'm suggesting to you, I'm not saying you have to believe it, but why not get out of your comfort zone? Read something that's challenging, do something that's challenging. If you've never hit a golf club in your life, why not go to Top Golf and swing a few getting out of your comfort zone makes you more creative. It stimulates that part of the brain that is kind of dormant, that kind of sleeps if we just keep doing what we've always done. The part of the problem I think we face is that we're so busy doing what we do, we don't take time to think about what we do. And therefore, that part of our brain, in some ways, it's a weird analogy, but in some ways, the brain's like a muscle. If you exercise it, it gets better and gets stronger. And if you just keep doing the same thing over and over, it doesn't improve. So what we have to do is to find a way to make things better and to use those parts of the brain that we may not be using. And that's where getting out of your comfort zone is really significant and important. Yeah, Donovan says, "What's a comfort zone?" That's true for some of us, isn't it, Donovan? We're so stressed and on the move, and so many changes in our life. Man, I get what you're saying. You bet. Hey, here's Sherry from back home. Happy Friday to you, Sherry. We've been saying prayers for Mike and all the challenges that he's been dealing with. So it's good to see you, and just know we're thinking about you. And Scott, hey, hope you had a great time back home. It was. I was back home. In Indiana. That sounds like a song, doesn't it? Back home again in Indiana. I had the privilege to speak to the Indiana Council on Agribusiness on Wednesday, and had a chance to visit with some friends while I was there, and get back home to Jackson County, Indiana, and visit with family. So that was really, really terrific. So thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Okay, the second of the three, as we said, is get outside of your comfort zone. Here's the third one. Take a class. Yeah, expand your knowledge. Take a class. I'm doing it on a virtual class that I'm taking right now. And one of the things I find is not only does it make me think about what I'm learning from the class, but it also, again, it exercises my brain and makes me more creative because it makes me think of things I wouldn't have thought of otherwise. Take some kind of class And it's never been easier. It's never been easier, whether it is with Iconic Inner Circle and the classes that we offer there, or whether it is through, Masterclass has some amazing classes. I started to say Coursera. They've just changed their name to Wonderium. You might look that up. It's Wonderium, like Wonder, Wonderium, I believe. They used to be great courses. So you can literally attend college classes for free online. Just watch a course. Just take a class. It is amazing that there was some statistic, and I can't quote it exactly, but it's an amazingly large percentage of people never read a book, never take a class as soon as they graduate from high school. And an equally high percentage, sadly enough, do the same after they graduate from college. So just take a class. Do something to expand your knowledge base. Kellen, great to see you. Looking forward to getting the podcast with you rescheduled and having a chance to be a part of that. So take a class, be a part of that. So again, the 3 things I want you to do. 3 things, the first of the 6 that we're going to talk about. Number 1, read something outside your usual circle. As we said, if you're just joining in, as we said, you could be eating a healthy thing, but if that's all you eat, it's not healthy for you. You have to do something different. If all I ate were salads, there'd be a part of my life that I would need to change to do something different, to eat something. Well, same thing with what we consume and what we read and what we watch. So read, and I should add there, watch something outside your usual circle. Get outside your comfort zone. Do something you haven't done before. Or maybe that you haven't done for a while, or attend an event, or do something that's outside the comfort zone of what you typically experience. And third is take a class in something. It doesn't even have to be academic. If you've always, one thing I never imagined I would do, and I wouldn't have done this had not my accountant at the time in Indianapolis also owned a dive shop. I went and took scuba classes. And you do it in a pool, in a swimming pool. And to put that tank on and to sit in the bottom of the pool and look around, and then we actually went for a dive. I went on a dive trip, and it was absolutely amazing. It was so far out of my comfort zone, but taking the scuba class made me want to do something outside of my comfort zone. And to go scuba diving was just it was fantastic. It was like going to another planet. It was so incredible. Hey, Tim, always great to see you. I appreciate you being here. And man, what a great live stream Tim Gillette has if you haven't seen it. So those are the 3 that I'd like for you to focus on. Read something outside your comfort zone, or read something outside your usual circle. Get outside your comfort zone and take a class. When we do these things, just by doing them, we are going to be on our way to being more creative. Hey, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I look forward to seeing you on Monday with the next edition of Daily Distinction. In the meantime, make sure you check out, just go to iconicinnercircle.com. You'll have a chance to see what's going on there. And don't forget, first month's on me. There's no risk, no obligations, absolutely free. Just join, give it a try. All right, everybody, have a fabulous weekend. Be careful. It is Friday the 13th. I'll catch up with you on Monday. See you then.